Somewhere there's music, how faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above when love is far away too, till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's music, how near, how far. Somewhere there's heaven, it's where you are. The darkest night would shine if you would come see me soon. Until you do, how still my heart, how high the moon. Somewhere there's music, how faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above when love is far away too, till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's music. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my learning space. So today I want to be talking about how to accompany someone or how to accompany yourself. So I'm going to talk about 3 different styles that I find prominent in the style or in the context of a jazz gig or a jazz jam session, and that would be swing, Latin inspired style, as well as a funk style. So let's talk about the swing style, and let's talk about walking bass lines. So I'm working over the tune How High the Moon, and I'm playing it in the key of E flat because that's what's comfortable for my voice. The original key was a bit too high for me, so it starts on chord 1, which would be E flat major, and then E flat minor to A flat 7. Then we go to D flat major 7. That also becomes minor, which becomes a 2/5 of B major. Then it goes back to 2/5 of E flat minor. Then it goes to the major again, another 2/5. Then we have 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. That's the gist of the song. Now, when we're creating bass lines, what the key to creating a walking bass line would be to approach each chord by a half step below or a half step above. So for instance, if I'm going to E flat major, I will do, or I can do, and there are 3 note patterns that you need to know for each type of a chord. So for major and dominant chords, we have 1, 2, 3, 5. Actually, for any chord really, it's always 1, 2, 3, 5. So major, we would have, these are kind of patterns that are typical in bass lines, although bass lines vary from bass player to bass player, but these are just like fundamental, easy, basic ones that I use to busk a walking bass line. Are these 1, 2, 3, 5 patterns. That would be for major, so E flat, F, G, B flat. And for minor, it would just be a matter of flattening the 3rd, right? And then the A flat 7 would be, and then for D flat major, D flat minor, F, G flat 7. So 1, 2, 3, 5 is important for bass lines. Now, obviously, you are not always going to be playing the full pattern because sometimes the song may change. chords within a bar. So if I have, for instance, after this, here the chords change halfway. So whenever there's a chord to come, you want to approach it by a half step. So it would have something like, somewhere there's music, how faint the tune. So here I'm going a half step down, half step above E flat minor down to E flat, for E flat minor, the chord. And I'm doing the 1 2 3 5 pattern, but now I'm going to do a half step to A flat, right? Another way to what I'm doing here is to do 1 5 1 is also another way to sort of get around a chord. So if I can do, but I can also just stick to the patterns. Okay, so this is another kind of variation. So you'd have something like, somewhere there's music, how faint the tune, somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon, there is no moon above when love is far away too. So that's essentially what it is. You need to remember 1 2 3 5 patterns for major, minor, or dominant chords, and you also need to remember going up or below a half step to approach a chord that is to come. And you need to also, you can do this kind of variation of 1 5 1 to do a bass line. Is also pretty useful. Now let's talk about I guess you would call it a bossa nova feel, or I really wouldn't say that, because you know I am not I've got no Latin roots, or I've never played in that never played in a Latin band. This is literally just me listening to Latin music and hearing jazz players interpret a Latin style. So I wouldn't really call it bossa nova. That's why I say a Latin inspired something. Okay, so a lot of the times when you listen to bossa nova styles, you always hear this or a variation of that. And the bass line a lot of the time is always doing 1 and 5, 1 and 5, and you can alternate with the octave above. So, and you would literally just do the same thing for that. So for minor chord, that's for major chord, and then for minor chord it would be exactly the same. Here I wouldn't really use a lot of downward half step movement. Here for me it's more about the feel of the bass line and not really half step approaches. You can use them, but sometimes it doesn't sound all too well. How faint the tune, there is no moon above when love is far away too, till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's music, where forth and so forth. The third style that I have added onto this video is when you go to jam sessions and things like that, people are always like, yeah, no, let's do it in a funk. That would be something like do 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 Your best interpretation of that would be to play those kinds of rhythms in your left hand. So if I have somewhere there's music, how faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above when love is far away too. One thing I'll say about funk type of voicing, it really likes like extension voicings, not really like, for instance, for swing I'd do root 7/3 most of the time when I'm comping in my right hand, but for funk feel it really likes like full kinds of voicings, 13 voicings. It just gives that meat, you know, that funk likes. And most of the time when you're playing funk, you'd probably want to play it with an EP sound. So let me actually do that. And funk music sort of tends to like this thing of playing, you know, when you play with feel, you also want to add touch to your feel by means of, I mean, like poking. I don't know if you call it poking, but like this kind of yeah, just flicking. Yeah, let's say it's flicking. If I'm doing the third, I'd do like from the 9th, then I do. So yeah, it likes like 11 chords, 13 chords. And here I'm doing a flat 13 to a D flat major 9. So I'll do somewhere there's music, how faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above when love is far away too. Till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's music. It's music, how near, how far. Somewhere there's heaven, it's where you are. The darkest night would shine if you would come see me soon. Until you do, how still my heart, how high the moon. Thank you guys for tuning into this video. I hope this was helpful. If you've got any questions about today's video, please leave them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer your questions, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.